Iraqi President Saddam Hussein might never have been captured by the US if he hadn't had a strong liking for an Iraqi dish called Masgouf. The US Army searched relentlessly for 32 weeks, yet there was no trace of former Iraqi President Saddam Hussein. It wasn't just the military. America's Special Forces, CIA, Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, National Security Agency, NSA, and FBI were all deeply involved in the mission. Thousands of personnel were focused on finding just one man, Saddam Hussein. So why was the US so determined to capture him? And how did a man named Bill end up discovering Saddam inside a hidden underground bunker, 6 feet deep? Let's begin the story right after the 9/11 attacks in the US, when Al-Qaeda targeted New York and Washington, D.C. The world witnessed America's furious reaction. President George W. Bush declared that any nation supporting terrorism would be dealt with severely. At the time, Saddam Hussein was ruling Iraq as a dictator. Though he wasn't directly connected to the 9/11 attacks, the U.S. believed that he indirectly backed several terrorist organizations. Still, this suspicion alone wasn't enough to justify a military invasion of Iraq. To build a stronger case, the U.S. began claiming that Saddam Hussein was stockpiling weapons of mass destruction, nuclear weapons. Based on this claim, the United States, supported by forces from the UK, Australia, and Poland, launched an invasion in March 2003. Within just 3 weeks, they reached Baghdad, but Saddam had vanished on the very first day of the invasion. Despite US troops capturing the capital and ending Saddam's 24-year rule, the man himself was nowhere to be found. Soldiers even celebrated by toppling his statue in Baghdad's Firdaus Square. But while the statue fell, finding the real Saddam would prove far more difficult. Tracking down Saddam and his key officials became the top priority for American forces. Each soldier was given full authority to arrest any of Saddam's 51 top officials, dead or alive. To aid the mission, a deck of playing cards was created, with each card featuring the face of one of these most wanted men, including Saddam himself. For several months, the U.S. military searched every part of Iraq: homes, markets, mosques, schools, and even family networks. They were sure Saddam was hiding somewhere in Iraq, but his exact location remained a mystery. Eventually, the U.S. placed a $25 million bounty on Saddam and $15 million each on his sons, Uday and Qusay. Many Iraqis disliked Saddam, and encouraged by the reward, began offering tips. One day, a man informed U.S. forces that both of Saddam's sons were hiding at his house. Initially, the report seemed doubtful, but when the military surrounded the house, it turned out to be true. Uday and Qusay refused to surrender and were heavily armed. After repeated failed attempts to capture them alive, a missile strike was ordered. Both were killed in the attack. With their deaths, the best lead to Saddam's location was lost. Although many of Saddam's allies had been captured, none provided useful information. 4 months passed. The military even started to believe Saddam might have died in one of the raids. Operations slowed. No reports or signs suggested he was alive. Until one day, everything changed. An audio tape surfaced in which Saddam mourned his sons' deaths. This confirmed he was still alive. The hunt resumed with full force. The bounty was increased to $30 million, and the informant was promised U.S. citizenship. People across Iraq began flooding the military with tips, mostly false, in hopes of claiming the reward. This only complicated things further. Almost every person featured in the playing cards had been captured, except Saddam and a few others. At this stage, Eric Maddox, a Defense Intelligence Agency sergeant, decided to shift strategy. He realized that the most wanted officials had gained power through Saddam, not the other way around. Saddam wouldn't rely on them while in hiding. Instead, Maddox focused on Saddam's personal bodyguards, especially the ones who were always by his side. These guards were classified into 3 types: those who guarded the palace, those who cleared areas before Saddam's arrival, and those who stayed with him constantly. Maddox believed Saddam now depended on the last group. Maddox went to Saddam's hometown, Tikrit, looking for these guards. He interrogated the son of a bodyguard, Mohammed Ibrahim Omar, who was missing. Eventually, Maddox spoke to one of Saddam's old servants. Though the servant didn't offer much, he did reveal that Saddam loved a traditional fish dish, Masgouf. That triggered a memory. During interrogation, the bodyguard's son had mentioned that his father enjoyed fishing and owned a fish farm in Samara. Maddox went there but didn't find the bodyguard. Only 2 fishermen. Surprisingly, one of them turned out to be the cousin of a guerrilla fighter linked to Saddam's resistance movement. These guerrilla fighters were believed to be operating under the orders of Ibrahim Omar, Saddam's trusted bodyguard. One of the fishermen mentioned an uncle who lived in Baghdad. Maddox and his team raided the house, and there they found Ibrahim Omar himself. Omar, now a leader in the guerrilla war, was also responsible for sending Masgouf to Saddam. At first, he refused to cooperate, but after Maddox promised U.S. citizenship for his family, he confessed. Omar revealed that Saddam was hiding in a small town called Ad-Daur. Acting on this lead, the military launched a search. 2 farmhouses near the Tigris River were checked but found empty. Then Omar, who was with them, noticed a long rope running into the ground toward a spider hole. The entrance was covered with styrofoam. As soldiers approached, one prepared to toss a grenade inside. Just then, 2 hands emerged from the darkness. A man with a long beard appeared and said, "My name is Saddam Hussein. I am the president of Iraq." After 32 long weeks of searching, Saddam was finally captured alive, thanks largely to Maddox's strategy and a clue as simple as a favorite dish, Masgouf. Later analysis confirmed that Iraq did not possess any weapons of mass destruction. Even President George W. Bush admitted that nothing was found. We hope you enjoyed this incredible story. If you liked it, don't forget to like and share this video from Science Lover. Thank you for your wonderful support. See you in the next amazing story.